Hello, my name is Maria de Souza. I'm the founder of Posture Queen, and this is a place for you to learn all things good posture and movement for a life without pain and a life lived with more elegance. Today I'm going to bring to you another lesson of my series, Feldenkrais, one lesson at a time. And this lesson is connected to the rib basket lessons. So this lesson is part 4, and it is to be done with either part 1 or part 2. So you can do first part 1 and this, and then this one, part 4, or you can do part 2 and then this, part 4, or you can do part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4 all at the same time. But please don't do this part 4 all in itself, because like part 3 as well, don't do it in itself. Please add either part 1 or part 2 into part 3 and part 4, because you'll gain much more benefit from it as opposed to do part 3 and part 4 by itself. So part 3 and part 4 are to be done together with part 1 and part 2. Okay, so if you got the time, do the 4 in one go. Otherwise, just do part 1 and part 3, or part 2 and part 3, or part 1 and part 4, or part 2 and part 4. I hope it makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know below and I'll explain again. Okay, all these 4 videos are all about the rib basket. So if you haven't watched the part 1, please watch it, because you will understand a little bit more about these 4 series. So I have explained in part 1 that we don't have a rib cage. We have a rib basket. And the ribs are designed to move and to give, and when they do so, our movements, movements that we do in our daily life, like turning to the sides, reaching out, they'll become more fluid, they'll become easier to do and more graceful as well. Okay, so that's why it's important to bring mobility into the rib basket and start thinking that we have a rib basket and not a rib cage. Because if you think that we have a rib cage, it's all very rigid and we move like robots, moving like we have a 6-pack. So 6-pack, they might look good, but just notice how people with six packs move. It's all a very constrained, a little bit rigid. So there is no this flexibility and mobility in the ribs that we need to do things like turning to the sides when we cross the streets, reaching out. So muscles, if they are too rigid, too tense, then they don't allow the bones to move as they are designed to. So we start this lesson like the other 3 lessons within this little series, and it is in saddle sitting. So saddle sitting is like this, where one leg is at the front and the other is behind. Excuse me. So we're going to start by having the right leg in front, and you're going to rest on your right arm, on your right hand. Remember not to collapse, but to just stand the hand on the floor to help you to keep the torso upright. And as I said before, please do this part together with one or two parts, okay? Or both. So you're going to bring your left arm up in front of your eyes, and you're going to do that initial movement of turning to the side. In this case, it's to the right hand side and coming back. Okay, just notice how this movement feels for you. Breathing in and out. Okay, remember that you're not supposed to do this lesson without doing first lesson number 1 or lesson number 2, because it's going to be first, it won't be very beneficial to you because it's starting in the middle of the lesson, and because you haven't moved enough to go straight into this part of the lesson. So it's important that you're not straining your body. So that's why you need to do part 1 or part 2 before doing this lesson, okay? Or part 1 and 2 and then this one. And from here, next time you come to the side, stay there, and you're going to bring that hand on the floor, okay? Remember that you are to the side and both hands now are on the floor, one by the other one, side by side. The hands are side by side. And what we're going to do here, so you're looking to the side, you're going to do that, you're going to flex and extend the spine. So the flexion this way, so you're going to round the back, bringing the chin towards your chest and looking down, and round the back as much as you can comfortably. And then you're going to extend the spine and look up. The chin comes away from the chest ever so slightly. Only going as far as it is comfortable without forcing, without pushing. And carry on with these two movements, rounding and extending. And notice the movement in your spine. How much movement can you feel in your spine and in your ribs? Also, bring your attention to your pelvis. Is your pelvis moving? So as I extend, the pelvis needs to come forwards. And as I round, the pelvis goes back, okay? So notice if your pelvis is moving, and if it is not, see if you can create an invitation for the pelvis to move. Okay, it doesn't need to be a big movement, and it won't be a big movement. And also you might feel that your spine or your ribs don't move very much, and that's okay. Just be with what it is at the moment. And as I said before in the previous parts of this little series of the rib basket, if you keep up with this practice, with these lessons, together with the Feldenkrais lesson number 1 and number 2 under this playlist, you will start feeling or bringing more movement to your rib basket. Okay, so don't be alarmed if you feel that there is not much movement in your ribs and spine, and that everything feels stuck. All you have to do is to do these lessons every single day for a while, and I promise that things will start moving, okay? But you need to do it every day, and remember that 10, 15 or 20 minutes a day is better than an hour a week. So all these movements, if you want to really feel the benefit, within a few weeks you need to do these movements every single day. Again, you don't need to spend hours doing it, just at least 15 minutes a day is sufficient. And you can choose whatever video or whatever lesson you can choose, part number 1 or part number 2 or part number 1 and 2 or part number 1 and part 4 or part 3. Okay, as long as you don't do part 3 or part 4 on its own. Okay, so you can't do part 3, part 4 on its own. You can, but it won't be very beneficial for you. Your body won't be ready to start doing those movements, okay? All right. Okay, notice if the movement starts being a little bit easier for you, or if you feel that there is a little bit more movement happening. Breathing in and out, rounding and extending. Okay, only stay here for as long as it is comfortable for you. I appreciate this is not a very comfortable sitting position to be in, so only stay for as long as it is comfortable. And of course, the more you do it, the more comfortable things will become for you. Okay, next time you bring the head up, you can bring yourself to the middle and have a rest. And rest means you can lie on the back and have a rest. You can sit in a different position, maybe on your heels, whatever rest means to you, okay? In these videos here, I won't be giving you too much time to rest, because you can always stop the video and rest for as long as you can. And I do that because just for the sake of not making these videos too long. Okay, but please rest for as long as you want. It's good or better if you can and rest on your back for half a minute or so, and then you come back and carry on the movements. Okay, right now we're going to go back to the same organization as we were before. The right leg in front, bring the left arm up, and we're just going to do this movement. Remember that you're doing this after you have done part 1 or part 2, okay? So notice how this movement feels for you comparing to the very first time you did it today, okay? Notice what's moving more and better. Okay, and then let go, and we're going to swap and we're going to do the other side. So left leg in front, right leg behind, rest on your left hand. Right arm up, look at your hand, the elbow is hanging down, soft, the hand is soft, okay? You're going to turn to the left and back to the middle. Just notice how that movement feels. Notice what's moving, what's not. Okay, and next time you come to the side, bring the hand down. So now both adjust your hands so that they are one by the other. Okay, one hand next to the other, same level. Do what is possible for you, Okay, and from here we're going to do the same movement. So you are on the side, to the side, and we're going to do the same movement with the spine. So you're going to round, bring the chin towards the chest, look down towards the floor, and then extend. So round and extend, and just carry on with this movement. Close your eyes and feel the movement, how much movement there is. Where do you feel the movement? And again, if there isn't too much movement, don't worry about it. Just keep up with these classes, with these lessons, and things will start to move with time. Without forcing, without pushing anything. Be patient with yourself. And again, this is not a very comfortable position, sitting positions to be in. Only stay for as long as it is comfortable. A lot is going on in the pelvis area, in the hip joints as well. It's important that we breathe with the movement. It's easy to breathe out as we round and breathe in as we extend. Please have a look at my video called Take a Deep Breath, what it means. Because there, that video teaches you how to breathe correctly, and also teach you what does it mean to take a deep breath, which is something I didn't know what it was meant before I started studying yoga and Feldenkrais. So have a look at that video. It's very important that we breathe correctly. And also notice how the breath makes things easier. The movement's more fluid. It makes the movement easier when we breathe with the movement, allowing the movement to follow the breath. And never rush the breath to meet the movement. Always allow the movement to follow the breath and not the other way around. Okay, a few more times here. Okay, and next time you bring yourself up, just bring yourself to the middle, and we're going to do it once again. So swap your legs, right in the front, left back, rest on your right hand. I'm going to do exactly the same, just once again. So bring your left arm up and just turn to the right just a few times before we start that movement, the next movement. You just notice how that feels. Notice if this movement is improving. How is this move? What's the evolution of this movement, so to speak? Okay, and next time you come to the side, just bring your hand on the floor. So both hands are now flat on the floor, side by side. And you're going to do that movement you did before, rounding the spine and extending. Okay, again, do it with the breath. Exhale, belly out. Inhale, belly out, sorry. extend, and as the belly comes in, you exhale, round the spine. So inhaling, belly out, extend, exhale, belly in as you round. And just notice these movements. Notice the movement in the spine, the ribs, in the pelvis. Notice if you're holding or tensioning anywhere that is not necessary. How can you also, because this is not the most comfortable position to sit, so just notice, just see how you can make it easier for you. Notice where you can let go and soften, and just to allow this movement to be a little bit easier for you. We tend to hold and tension unnecessarily, so if we pay attention, we'll notice those things. Don't rush the breath, allow the movement to follow the breath. Slow, long, deep breaths. And if you watch my video called Take a Deep Breath, where I teach you to breathe, you'll understand what I mean by slow, long, deep breaths. Again, only stay here for as long as it is comfortable, okay? So I'm staying here for a little while, but that might be, if this is too much for you, too long for you, then please feel free to stop and then come back to it, okay? Never stay for more than you are able to, and you might not be able to stay for very long or for as long as this at the very beginning, but then as you carry on and stick to these movements, things will get better for you, and you'll be amazed at how much more you can do. Okay. And next time you extend, bring yourself to the middle, to the front. Now we're going to do it another time on the other side. Take a rest, stay here, lie on the back, sit in a different position, just to take a rest and let everything sink in, okay? Now, left leg in front, right leg behind, bring the right leg up, the left rests on the floor. And just do this initial movement a few times. Notice if things are changing, if things feel better. Excuse me. And next time you turn to the side, bring the hand on the floor, both hands side by side. And again here you're going to round the spine. Bring the chin towards the chest, look down or close your eyes, whatever it's best for you, and extend. And again with the breath, inhale and sticking the belly out as you extend, and exhaling, taking the belly in as you exhale, okay? And if you close your eyes, you can feel more, sense. Notice the movements that are going on. Notice how much of your spine, the ribs, the pelvis is moving. Is it more than before? Is it easier to do? Is this side different to the other side? So moving with awareness, just noticing what's going on. And as you go about life, just notice what are the benefits that all these lessons are giving to you. You probably feel that your walk is different, that your turns, your rotations feel different. Just notice how this is affecting other parts of your life as you go about life. And let me know below so that we all can benefit from your experience. Okay, and next time you extend, you come up, just bring everything to the center. And take a rest. Whatever rest means to you. You may want to lie on your back, you may want to sit in a different position. And just for a moment, rest for as long as you want. You're going to go back to the same organization, and we're just going to notice how this movement feels. Remember that you did this lesson together with part number 1 or part number 2. So we're not doing this lesson by itself. So now that you reached the end of this lesson, just notice how this feels comparing to the very first time you did it today, the very first time you did it when you started this lesson, okay? Or these 2 lessons, or 3, or whatever lessons, or many lessons you do it at one time. You just notice how this, and reach out and turn, and just notice, is this moving a little bit better? Does it feel more fluid, more pleasant to do, more graceful? Or are you still kind of stuck in your ribs? And that might be the case. If this is the very first time you did it, you might still a bit stuck. So carry on, don't give up, carry on doing these lessons. And I promise things will change. Okay, let's see. On the other side, just do this move and notice how this feels, how much of the pelvis is getting involved in this movement. Reach out to the sides, look behind you, and just notice if the rib basket is cooperating more with your movements that we do in our daily lives, moving around, turning to the sides, reaching out to grab something, even making a cup of tea. All these movements, all this what we do on the mat have a huge influence in our movements we do in our daily lives as we go about life. Okay, so notice those things and let me know what you finding out below this video in the comments. So this is the end of this series for the rib basket. So there is part 1, part 2, part 3 and part 4. Okay. So remember, you have a rib basket. I'm gonna get my basket again. So this basket is in my video part 1, where I use it just for to understand that our ribs are just like this beautiful basket that it gives when we press, when we move, it gives. There is a little bit of give and flexibility and beauty. So it's not a cage, it's a basket. I hope these lessons are of great value to you and that you get lots of benefits out of it. Let me know what you think below. Share it with the world. so that we all become more fluid, more mobile, and more graceful, and live life with less pain and with more elegance. That's my wish for the world. Thank you very much, and I'll see you at the next video. Bye bye now.